Welcome, welcome. It's Friday. It's 10 a.m. here in Berlin. That means it's time for a new episode, this week's episode of Satoshi Secrets. And as you can see, you're just seeing me. Jonatan had to excuse himself today, a bit of family matters there, which of course is something that always goes first and has to be prioritized. So today is just you and me, guys. As always, guys, if you have any questions here during the live stream or later on, if you should be watching this not live, but the recording later on, for example, on YouTube, you can leave your questions here. And we are, of course, going to try to answer them all. So what are we going to talk about today? Today, of course, we are, as always on Friday, going to have a look at how the latest last week's signals of the market equilibrium indicator were performing. So I'm going to go over the cryptocurrencies that I'm currently trading them. Which are Bitcoin, Doge, Popcat, Ripple, and up to yesterday, actually ADA, more on that later, while I decided to discontinue this. I want to also talk a little bit about what is going on the news front, and I want to talk in general also and give you guys a little bit of an outlook, what, in my opinion, at least on the cryptocurrency markets is going to happen during the rest of September now. And if you've been watching this regularly, I've said it many times for the last month now, actually since the beginning of August. September, in comparison, usually is the worst month for Bitcoin or for cryptocurrencies in general, with prices on average over the last 11 years declining by 4.8%, I think it was. So in that matter, there's maybe not so much to be expecting from the rest of September. However, we also have one event coming up very soon, which could change it all. So yeah, let's jump right into the action here. Have a look at how the May signals, the market equilibrium indicator signals have been performing. If you have no idea, you're watching this, you have no idea what the market equilibrium indicator is. It's my proprietary trading indicator that I make available for my audience, for the Good Bad Bitcoin community. You can find a link in the description of this video for an offer where you can subscribe to the indicator for 75% off for the first month, so you can try it out. There's also a link to the Telegram channel where I regularly post about the signals to give you guys an idea how I am trading this. There's also a bot currency set up that is automatically trading Popcat with this indicator. And yeah, I'm going to have a look also, because this bot has been performing extremely well on really low risk settings. And maybe in the second part of this video, I want to kind of share what I've planned for actually next week in terms of making this robot a multi-currency automatic trading robot. And yeah, by the end of the day, later at a later stage, how you can get access to this. So actually, my opinion, the most quiet moving thing in the crypto space last week was Bitcoin. And I think the market equilibrium indicator lately has been performing really, really good. We had a number of signals here since late August, which were really on the point. The buy signals, the sell signals. We had here almost at the absolute bottom here, that was on the 6th of September, the buy cluster. The indicator is still in that trade in. So if you have been joining this trade, congratulations. You probably bought Bitcoin here somewhere between 53 and 54,000 US dollars. Well, we are now at 58,000 US dollars. So you should be up, your position should be up by a great margin. So this is the type of signal that shows the indicator is basically paying for itself. You just need to have a little bit of patience and not only, be in for the super short-term trades. That is a sip of coffee here for me. So as soon as something switches there, I'm going to notify you guys, of course, also on the Telegram channel. Yeah, Dogecoin was a bit of a rough, had a little bit of a rough stretch here. These buy signals were not so easy to trade. You had pretty much a good chance to get out here at the resistance up here. However, after this, really this is a 2-minute chart, and basically we didn't see much action until that was yesterday in the afternoon, where sell signals started to form again, which was this, especially this signal here, I liked very much because it was at the upper range here of what then was an area of resistance. Same for this one. This one actually a little bit into no man's land, but you can see here also how well really these signals went here almost immediately into the direction of a signal. So really some great trades to take there. Let's move on here to Ripple, which is a little bit was like very specific and very unique. You see this huge, I need to move my chart here, but this huge spike we had yesterday here at 3 p.m. that was, while still potentially being in a sell signal here. So this is actually a good example for why I personally choose like lower trading volume or lower trading sizes with using this indicator on the lower time frames, because there can always, and this was of course news coming out, to be more precise, this was the news that Grayscale is going to launch a Ripple trust in the USA. This led to an immediate price spike of 8%. However, the my indicator, the market equilibrium indicator, spotted also a nice sell signal up here, then got out of it, and I think pretty much timed here, as it seems, the bottoms also. However, of course, if you still were in this sell signal, it's of course either important that you had your stop loss somewhere up here above the zone of what was then resistance, or you had your trading size chosen in such a way that you don't risk a lot of money per trade. So for example, I'm trading a 10K account with this, and my position size usually is 1K per position. Why? Because I still need the account to be working if I see price spikes like this. If you're leveraged by 1 to 10 even, and you see a price spike out of nowhere, really on a news event by, for example, 8%, like we saw yesterday here on Ripple, you are basically going to blow your account. So take it steady, take it slow. As I always like to say, trading is a marathon and not a sprint. Yeah, last but not least, here Popcat also, which is traded automatically. Not easy to trade if you traded this manually, because we saw also quite heavy price swings, like 25% to the downside, 25% to the upside. But overall, the May indicator managed those really well, clustering buys here, then getting out here, and switching to sell position, which was here, and then reversing again into a buy position. Now, this, of course, and understand this is like a situation that can get to you. You know, it's like you have to buy over and over again, and then eventually switch into a short position. But this is really where, in my opinion, this indicator has its strength. It knows already there is a bottom likely to be in. However, with the given volatility, it's of course not always possible to immediately spot this bottom. Thus, you have those clusterings. If you just traded them like they appeared, you would have earned actually a lot of money. And we can see this here with the performance of the bot. So this bot is trading these signals you see here live, and it's been trading these since September 1st, half automatic. So sometimes when I see like, oh, the position is like really nicely up, or it's still holding on, for example, to a position which in my opinion doesn't make any sense anymore, then I might cancel those positions or close those positions manually. But in 90% of the time, I just let the robot do its work. So it's a 10K account. Since September 1st, we are up by $800. So 8% up since September 1st, which is amazing. A return on investment in such basically just 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, of 8%. I don't think your bank or anything can do this. I said it last week already, profit factor, which was at 5 last week because the number of trades were still lower, still at 2.97, which is amazing. Anything over 2 here, actually. So what does profit factor mean, by the way? Profit factor means is gross profits divided by gross losses. And you can see basically that for every loss you have for every dollar you are losing, you're earning $2.97 basically. 74% successful, profitable signals here. We are also getting now into the territory with 58 trades where there is statistical significance. So I would like this to be at 100 trades, of course, because then you are getting into the terrain where you can say, okay, this seems to, be really performing very well. So very satisfied with this one. I'm going to upgrade this bot, by the way. So I want to integrate here also that on the same account, Ripple, Dogecoin, Bitcoin are traded automatically. We're going to lower the position size and even more from 1,000 probably to 250 per pair to diversify also when it comes to clustering risk. So we're going to have a true multi-currency bot that trades automatically for us. I actually wanted to set up the whole thing already this week. However, this week I was a little bit tight on time due to my other businesses. So I will record a video probably next Tuesday where I will walk you through the individual steps, how you can, with the indicator, build up your own bots with basically just a couple of mouse clicks. Question here from Tips, Tricks, and Backflips. Can you set a take profit parameter on your bot for those signals that never show the opposite signal? Well, first of all, you will always have an opposite signal. It's not going to be, especially on the 2-minute time frame, that you enter, for example, a short position and then it doesn't change into an opposite position for the next weeks. There can be longer stretches for sure, because the bot is always taking volatility, or the indicator is taking volatility into account. But yeah, you can define here, for example, on Wunder Trading, which I'm using, to also have take profit or stop loss in place. I'm going to show you how to set this up, of course, on the video I'm going to record the next week as well. And this really boils down to, your personal risk appetite. If you say like me, I don't care so much here about stop loss and take profit. I'm going to manage my risk by having really small position sizes because I'm happy. I'm very happy if I can earn 8% in 2 weeks. But let's say we end up earning like 1.5 or 2% per month, which is insane already. Always remember, you have to compare this to what you can achieve risk-free out there. And using a bot like this, of course, also shouldn't be your sole strategy. So long answer to your question, or short answer in this case, you can set up a stop loss and take profit as well. And I'm going to show you next week on the video how to do that. So very happy with the results so far. As I said, we saw this price rise on Ripple because of Grayscale launching a Ripple Trust, not to be mistaken with an ETF. So this is something different. But of course, the markets are hoping that this is the first step towards a Ripple spot ETF by the end of the day as well. Then, this is like, I know despite being still in a more sentiment of fear, if you look at the fear and greed index, for example, let's have a Twitter really quick look where we currently are, the fear and greed index. So we are at 32 right now. We're trading at $58,000, but the market is behaving in kind of the same way when we were trading under $20,000. So this is how quickly the perceived sentiment can change. And this, in my opinion, is very typical, but it's also when I see the markets reacting positive to something like this, Donald Trump announcing World Liberty financial laws. So he basically, the way I understand it at least, is that he is going to launch his own crypto trading platform and says like this is going to be an alternative to we can just quote them here. We're embracing the future with crypto and leaving the slow and outdated big banks behind. And I really, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think this gentleman is going to say whatever brings him votes at the moment. And he really doesn't understand, he doesn't differentiate between crypto and Bitcoin. There's a huge difference between Bitcoin, which is the largest decentralized network in the world, and the rest. And the rest, all those other thousands of altcoins that are out there that are not decentralized in this big way that Bitcoin is. So for me, it's a little bit worrying when I see stuff like this. And when I see like that, it seems like the whole American crypto scene at the moment is going to vote for Trump. I mean, I'm not too much of a political person, but with all that, what is going on in the background, where with all the plans of basically making him a dictator when he should be elected, I think that's really, really worrying. What else? So, yeah. That being said, normally I would hand over to Jonathan right now so he can talk a little bit about the signals he got from his RLZ Slingshot indicator. But we can keep things a little bit short. So, last but not least, I would like to talk about what we are seeing currently in terms of Bitcoin and the situation. I said it numerous times now. I think we are in what I would like to call a mini bear market, which is defined by a series of lower highs and lower lows. So roughly like this. And I said, in order for this market to continue its pattern, we could see like one lower low here. And it's kind of interesting, actually, what happened there, in my opinion, because technically, I mean, we were almost on par here with the last lower low that we saw. Should this hold now, this would be a good sign, because that would mean that we're slowly unwinding this pattern, and there could be a chance after a little bit sideways action to break out to the north side, and then attack those all-time highs, potentially breaking out to what I expect be something like $95,000 or $100,000, maybe even this year still. For that to happen, we need to see not a lower low now. So that would be ideal if we see the turnaround here, and kind of seems like this. However, on the upside, of course, there's also a lot of stuff to be gotten out of the way. Now, one thing that could potentially happen in the next weeks, can we see that already here? No, we cannot. On September 23rd, I think it is. Let me quickly check the FedWatch tool. Yeah. Oh no, it's 16th of December already. So my bad here. We are 18th of December. Sorry. We are going to see the next Fed interest rate decision. And what is happening right now, there is pretty cool, in my opinion. There's been a lot of talk about recession. There's been job figures out for non-farm payrolls, unemployment, which points into the direction in the USA that the job market is not doing well, which is something the Fed actually has been waiting for. Jerome Powell has been saying for over a year now, in order for us to lower interest rates, we need to see that the job market is not performing so well. Inflation coming down, which was the case. We had a reading, I think, at 2.4% year over year this week for the CPI data. And now the job market is performing worse. So the majority, actually almost all of the market participants, according to the CME groups, are expecting a rate cut on September 18th. Now, what for me is interesting is it's pretty much set in stone that we are going to get a rate cut, which is going to be positive for the markets. However, the interesting thing is here, at the moment, 57% of market participants are expecting a rate cut of 25 basis points, so 0.25%. 43% are even expecting 0.5%. And should we really see this cut of 0.5%, you can be sure that the markets are going to extremely celebrate this, meaning we are going to have a risk-on scenario with the S&P 500 going massively up. We are going to see for sure Bitcoin very quickly approaching 60 or maybe even something like 62 or 63,000 again. So this could actually, in my opinion at least, be a bit the catalyst of what we are by the end of the day all hoping for, that this is the catalyst that crypto in general breaks out of this mini bear market we are seeing and finally is going to start attacking the highs. And it also, from a timing wise, I mean, it's for me always amazing how these things sometimes come together. So the chart you see behind me here, the logarithmic regression, I want to bring it up here as well, because this is something I've been eyeing for quite some time now, for actually since the halving. What we are seeing here, for example, the breakout out of this green channel here, which is where the real bull market, the real frenzy normally starts. We haven't seen that yet, right? And if we look here, how long it took in the past. So, for example, here in 2016, it took Bitcoin 300 days, 304 days to break out of this green channel and go into this bull market frenzy mode, where we finally then top out somewhere here at the red band. Here in 2020, it took Bitcoin about 190 days. And this is very interesting, because if it's really, again, just 190 days after the halving, that would put us here into the end of October, beginning of November. So to be more precise, October 26th, that would be. Now, you could, of course, say like, oh, well, okay, that means, I can rest a little bit, another 1.5 months. No, we're talking about a breakout here into this zone between the green and the red band, the so-called frenzy zone. Now, in order to break over this, we would need to see, if we do that right now, we would need to see prices north of 98,500 US dollars. If it really happens beginning of October, we need to see prices over 100,000. And this for me is amazing, because there's this, if history repeats itself, and I don't see why it shouldn't repeat itself. It has done this exactly every 4 years. We are up for a price swing of 42,000 US dollars to the upside. And this is just the point, really, when the magic starts happening, when this structure starts forming here, and potentially, I don't know if it goes until, let's say, August or whatever next year, we can see prices well above 200,000, maybe between 180 and 300,000 US dollars. This is the time when, when everybody that's not involved in crypto is going to start calling you again, asking, hey, how can I buy Bitcoin? This is the time when you'll hear things like, oh, you were so lucky that you bought Bitcoin at 58,000 US dollars. So as long as we really do not see a slump, like very down here beneath 40,000 US dollars, well, I think history is going to repeat itself. And even if we see a slump down to under 40,000 US dollars, where you maybe have your stop loss then for a position like this, the upside potential is much, much higher. If I tell you, you can earn like 100,000 US dollars or 150,000 US dollars per Bitcoin, but you just need to risk 18 or 20,000 per Bitcoin, this is a very good risk reward ratio. And once that happens, things are going to go crazy. And I can guarantee you also 1 year into the future, when if history repeats itself, this bull market is going to end again. People are not going to believe that it's going to end, but I'm going to be here, and I'm going to tell you exactly the day I am going to sell my positions in Bitcoin. I'm going to sell my positions in the stock market, which, by the way, is another fact here. We have an election, US election in November coming up this year again. No matter if Kamala Harris or Donald Trump wins it, if we look at the last 3 elections, Obama, Trump, and Biden, the year directly after the election, so from November to November, that usually is, were always very strong periods where stocks and crypto was outperforming the rest of the market. So, I mean, everything's set on green. We just need one thing, and that's a little bit of patience. In the meantime, to make use of markets that are a little bit more choppy, we are going to use the market equilibrium trading strategy. As I said before, if you want to try out this indicator, you'll find a link in the description of this video, of this live stream, where you can get 75% off for your first month. Also, make sure to watch all the instructional videos. Actually, there are 2 instructional videos that come with the indicator, where I show you exactly how to use it, on which assets to use it, and on which assets not to use it. And yeah, apart from this, feel also free if you still want to watch a little bit along the line how I trade with this indicator. If you want to see how the bot is going to develop and going to perform, feel free to join the Telegram channel. More updates there. Going from next week onwards, of course, more updates also again on video wise. As I said, I've been super busy the last 2 weeks, but going forward next week, I'm going to have at least 1 live stream and 1 video out every week. Actually thinking about doing something like a scalping Monday, like a scalping room, where everybody can meet a bit that is interested in scalping cryptocurrencies, and we can do that live, for example, for a couple of hours every week. Thinking of Monday there, but let's see. Yeah, that's it pretty much from my side. I wish you guys a happy weekend and a profitable weekend, that is. We are going to see each other for Satoshi Secrets, hopefully with Jonatan then again next week, Friday again. Until then, happy trading, and always remember to have